Good morning, and welcome to worship with All Souls Unitarian Universalist Congregation in New London, Connecticut. I'm Ann Kadlecek, Intern minister here, and with me this morning is Director of Faith Formation, Perry Montrose, Arlene Stoltz, Faith Formation Administrator, and Jesse Edwards, keeping the technical side smooth. Bil Groth is on piano, and soon you'll meet some other very special musicians and chalice lighters. Slides are by Tammy. And Amy Rubinger is translating this service into American Sign Language. We are so grateful for this gift. Thank you, Amy. This morning's service includes a bit of a mystery. Not a capital M mystery, that's always a possibility in worship, but a puzzle kind of mystery. We've entitled this service, A Seed, a Worm, and an Egg. And children and youth who have been part of this congregation before today received a delivery of a bag, like this one, containing, among other things, some props that are also treats, some edible seeds, gummy worms, and an egg, like this one, with a treat inside. If you have a bag, we'll tell you when to take each item out, and you can hold it or eat it. If you don't have a bag, don't worry, it's not needed. But it raises a question. What are a seed, a worm, and an egg doing here together? How might they show up this morning? I wonder. For now, let's settle in together. Breathe in that crisp morning air as the community of all ages that we are, wherever we are. And let's breathe out anything that gets in the way of being here now. Arrive in this space where you are always welcome as you are. As we say each week, welcome to All Souls, where all souls are welcome. You are joyfully, and perhaps wonderingly, called to worship. Our opening hymn is number 354, Peace Like a River. Today we'll sing with voices and bodies, led by Jessica Cerullo. Please join in.
We're going to sing a song that we have sung together many times, so please sing along and move along with me. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river.
Each Sunday, we light a chalice, the symbol of our faith. For this multi-generational service today, we are so thrilled to have 4 wonderful people here to pass the flame and represent the generations at All Souls. So welcome and thank you, George, Giselle, Darlie, and Victoria. We're so happy to have you with us to pass the flame and help us light the chalice.
Please join us in lighting the chalice in our community. For every time we make a mistake and we decide to start again,
we light this chalice.
For every time we are lonely and we let someone be our friend,
we light this chalice.
For every time we are disappointed and we choose to hope,
we light this chalice.
Thank you so much.
We also light a candle of gratitude this morning for the many people in this country working hard to bring this pandemic under control. Medical professionals, hospital staff, those working on the complicated logistics of vaccination, those making and giving vaccines, researchers studying new variants, everyone stepping up to receive the vaccine, and all of us continuing to practice social distancing and masking, even though we're pretty tired of it. And gratitude for national leadership that takes the problem seriously. We've got a ways to go, but we light this candle with great appreciation for the many who are doing all they can. Thank you, Perry. Thank you again, George, Giselle, Darlie, Victoria. So good to see you all this morning. Today, we will share a story about someone who was given 3 different opportunities, 3 gifts, perhaps, to help deal with a basic hardship in life. Not a hardship like hunger, sickness, or danger, but a hardship that is more ordinary and yet deeply distressing to one's spirit. Feeling lonely, being lonely. This is also a story of resilience and the transformation that happens in that resilience. One way to think about transformation is to consider a simple seed and how something so small can hold huge hope. In fact, if you received a bag, I invite you to take out your seeds now. You can eat them if you'd like, or just hold them in your hand. Our story, which is an adaptation of the book Pig and Crow by Cerullo, takes its first turn with a handful of seeds.
Pig was lonely, but baking always raised his spirits. He baked a lot. So on this day, he baked his favorite chocolate swirl fudge cake. He set it on the windowsill to cool. Then Crow came and perched next to the cake.
I will give you these magic seeds for that cake.
I do not believe in magic. What will I I do with these seeds?
These seeds take away loneliness, especially from lonely pigs.
You're trying to fool me. I won't trade.
A pity. Now you will be lonely forever and ever.
Pig looked at the bundle of seeds. Maybe Crow was telling the truth. So he took the seeds, and Crow flew away with the cake. Pig opened the bundle and found more seeds and some instructions. The instructions said,
to make magic seeds work, clear weeds and grass to make a garden. Turn the soil. Plant the seeds in rows. Cover the seeds with soil. Water, fertilize, keep watering, wait for magic to happen.
So Pig cleared the weeds and grass, making a big square patch of brown earth. He planted the seeds and covered them with earth. Then he watered and fertilized and watered some more. It was all hard work. Finally, little green sprouts appeared, then vines and large leaves and big yellow flowers. Soon, the flowers withered, leaving small green balls. The little green balls grew larger and larger. Then they turned bright orange. Pig had some big, fat pumpkins.
Oh, but they are only pumpkins. They are not magic. And I am lonely again. I know. I will bake a spicy walnut pumpkin pie.
We're going to leave Pig to his baking for a few minutes, but we'll go back soon to find out what happens next. A lonely, discouraged, stress-baking pig. There's an icon for pandemic times. Those tiny seeds were remarkable, turning into pumpkins and spicy walnut pumpkin pie. And Pig worked so hard tending them, helping them do their amazing work. But after all that, he seems just the same as before. There are no magic seeds that cure loneliness and disappointment. The story isn't over, but it sure can feel that way when we're in it. Pig may not feel hopeful right now, but still, he's doing some things that can help. For starters, Pig knows what he's feeling. This is a very self-aware pig. He notices the loneliness. He names it. He doesn't tell everyone he's doing fine and lets it be. And then he does something kind for himself. We often think of kindness as something we do for others, which it is. But self-kindness is also a powerful way to comfort ourselves when we're hurting. After all, you know your pain better than anyone else ever will. Psychology professor Kristin Neff, in her book Self-Compassion, speaks of allowing ourselves to be moved by our own pain, stopping to say, this is really difficult now. How can I care for and comfort myself in this moment? Setting aside judgment and self-criticism and offering kindness from ourselves to ourselves. Treating ourselves with the same gentleness we would a suffering friend. For many of us, self-kindness is challenging. One thing that can get in my way is the idea that offering comfort to myself is somehow irresponsible, or I just don't have the time. That ingrained work ethic. But self-kindness is not about making excuses or letting ourselves off the hook. It's about honestly acknowledging what is hard and painful and caring for ourselves so we can keep going. It's about resilience. Much has been written about practices that build and sustain resilience. With a quick search, I found lists of 5, 7, 8, 11, or overwhelmingly 17 skills and attitudes that increase resilience. Every one of them included some form of self-kindness. When you're lonely, discouraged, disappointed, what can you do to be kind to yourself? Maybe it's baking, especially now with all this talk of fudge swirl cakes and spicy walnut pumpkin pies. My go-to self-kindness is walking. If I'm being really kind to myself, the dog and I will go somewhere with a forest or a rocky shoreline. What's yours? I invite you, if you wish, to use the chat now to share something you do or might do to be kind to yourself when life's challenges get to be a bit much. Something that might perhaps offer inspiration to others in this community of all ages. Or just reflect on this question quietly and perhaps recommit to your own self-kindness. When life gets hard, what can you do to be kind to yourself? Practicing self-kindness helps to make us a resilient people, and Pig a resilient pig. So go, Pig. We're with you. Keep doing what you're doing, even when hope is hard to find. And I see Pig's pie is out of the oven now. So let's return to our story. If you have gummy worms in your bag, it's time to take one out. Once again, you can eat it or just hold it in your hand.
Crow smelled Pig's walnut pumpkin pie. She flew down to the windowsill, carrying a little worm.
I will trade you this magic worm for that pie.
Of course not.
You look like a lonely pig. This worm takes away loneliness.
You fooled me once. You will not fool me again.
Well, if you want to be lonely forever and ever, I will take my magic worm and fly away.
Pig looked at the worm. It did look different, not like the earthworms in his garden. Maybe it was a magic worm. So Pig made the trade. Crow left Pig with a list of instructions and flew away with the pie. The instructions said,
Keep worm in jar with holes in lid. Feed lots of fresh wild cherry leaves. Keep jar clean. Wait for magic to happen.
So Pig found an empty olive jar and put the worm inside.
I will call you Olive.
Pig fed Olive lots of fresh leaves and patiently kept the little worm's home clean. Pig realized he did not feel quite so lonely anymore. But one day he found the empty jar except for a strange brown lump that was hanging from a twig.
Crow fooled me again. But how did Olive escape?
Pig was puzzled. As the days went by, every now and then he looked inside the jar for Olive. It was lonely without her. One day, when Pig peered inside the jar, he saw a strange thing. The brown lump shivered. It began to open. Out came a little black head with antennae.
Olive?
The antennae quivered. Out popped a wing. Then another wing. The lumpy brown shell fell away. A little creature with damp, wrinkled wings emerged.
Olive?
The wings unfurled, and the creature was a beautiful butterfly. Pig was very happy as Olive fluttered delicately around Pig's head. To celebrate, he baked his favorite chocolate chip cookies. He opened the window wide and set the cookies on the windowsill to cool.
We will celebrate and have a party and even invite Crow.
The butterfly dipped and twirled past Pig's ear and glided out the open window.
Olive, come back! Come back!
But Olive was gone.
The butterfly dipped and twirled past Pig's ear. He could hear the end of loneliness fluttering, but it glided out the open window. We often have that same natural reaction that Pig had. Come back, come back. Ignore the open window. I'll learn to use the fan. But Olive was gone. There is a finality in those words, and Pig's hopes are dashed. We all face loss and disappointment in our lives. Some losses are more significant and the pain longer lasting than others. There are many factors that determine how we are affected and how far we fall in our despair, including the depth of our connection to what we have lost, the height of our expectations and the degree of disappointment, the accumulation of our hurts, our biological predispositions to sadness, and the surrounding environment at the time, like a pandemic. We all lose hope at some point. We think the world is ending. In a sense, we are right. This particular way of being in the world is over. And allowing for a new way is not always easy. We begin our recovery by realizing that hope isn't something determined by a situation or another person, but is an internal flame that we keep lit. We all have needs we want fulfilled. Pig is lonely. He needs companionship and connection. He hopes to fulfill that need through his interaction with Olive, but it is not to be. It is letting go of his expectation that Olive will be there to meet his need for connection that will allow Pig to be resilient and regain his swine swagger. That kind of letting go does not happen with a tap of the hooves. Letting go is a process and another practice on those lists for building and sustaining resilience. It involves being aware of your feelings and grieving the loss. It means recognizing the need that resides inside of you that cannot be fulfilled by chasing butterflies. It is through reconnecting with and nurturing his own light that Pig will find a new path. Even when dampered to a flicker, life-affirming hope can be stronger than loss. The way is unknown at this moment, but somewhere inside, Pig is still curious and willing to reach out with wonder for the connection he desires. Momentary glimpses have given him hope that it's possible to have more. Pig's resilience lies in his grieving and letting go of the possibility that is no more, to make space for the one that is coming. It may take some extra baking to fan the flame. Part of resilience, and another practice we find on those lists for building resilience, is knowing what to let go of and what ingredients to hold on to in the recipe for contentment. In the process of resilience, we do not simply bounce back. We grow and understand more. Pig has seen the magic that comes from patiently nurturing something you care about, and he witnessed the beauty of transformation. He is learning to live into the magic of connection. If he can clear the cloud of disappointment to allow the light of hope to shine again, then he might discover a connection that can transform into a deeper relationship with himself and with those around him. So it is for all of us.
So indeed it is. Sometimes in life, joy abounds, and sometimes hope flies out the window and disappears. Either way, and anywhere in between, it can be good to connect and share with this community. And so we enter into the time in our service for us to share some of the joys and sorrows in our lives with one another. Each week, there are two ways to share. One is by email to belovedcommunity@allsouls.net. And joys and sorrows that are received by 2 p.m. on Thursday are read aloud in the service. Or, right now, you can share by entering your joy or sorrow into the chat, where it will be witnessed and held in silence by those gathered here. As you type your joys and sorrows, we will light candles of intention, holding a minute of silence for all that is being shared. Amen. Together we hold these joys and sorrows, those shared in words and those carried deep within our hearts, into this time of stillness and prayer. Spirit of life and love, we know discouragement and loneliness and loss. Times of letting go of hopes once held tight are part of life, part of resilience, part of learning to love more deeply and anew. But this letting go is hard to do. Help us to be kind to ourselves and find the courage to let go where we must. Help us to find possibility, healing, and hope in perhaps unlikely places. And help us to hold one another close and love one another deeply into greater resilience, hope, and joy. Amen. Please enjoy this musical meditation from Charlie Schott, Nick Evento, Tighe, and Becky Noreen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Thank you so much, Lee, Becky, Nick, Charlie. It is always so good to hear you. And now, the conclusion of our story. If you have an egg, please take it out as we rejoin Pig by his window.
Crow smelled something again. It was fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. She swooped down to the windowsill, carrying a large egg.
I will trade you this egg for those cookies.
No, you fooled me twice now. You will not fool me again.
Oh, you look very sad. I would say you are lonelier than ever. This egg will change all that.
You are right, Crow. I'm too sad to eat. Take my cookies.
Crow flew away with the cookies, and Pig found the instructions under the egg. This time, it was very simple.
To make magic work, keep egg safe and warm.
Pig wrapped the egg in some old flannel pajamas. He kept it safe and warm. He waited and waited and waited.
Waiting is a very lonely thing to do. Crow really fooled me this time.
Then one day, when Pig had almost forgotten about the egg, he heard a little sound. Tap, tap, tap. The sound came from under Pig's old flannel pajamas. He unwrapped the egg and saw a tiny crack. The crack soon became a little hole. The hole soon became a big hole. Fuzzy head poked out, followed by a long neck, skinny wings, a fuzzy body, and big awkward feet.
Oh, are you a baby goose?
It was a baby goose. Now, some of you at home have made a goose that looks a lot like this one. If you have it, I invite you to bring it out now. From that day on, Pig was very busy caring for the little goose. It was hard work, but Pig had learned about hard work from tending the seeds. It took patience, but Pig had learned patience caring for little olive worm. It took wisdom to appreciate the joy of special moments, but Pig had learned wisdom from olive butterfly. Under Pig's care, Goose grew and grew. And soon Goose learned to fly and showed Pig a whole different perspective on the world from the air. Pig showed Goose how to cook and garden. Goose showed Pig how to swim. Together, they sometimes invited Crow to dinner. One night, after the three had enjoyed a delicious meal together, and Crow had flown off into the great dark sky, Pig said to Goose,
I think Crow tried to fool me, but maybe her trades really were magic.
They both stared at the starry sky for a long time, and Pig was never lonely again.
So ends our story. And quite a story it was. If you have an egg and you've got something ready to decorate it with, I invite you to use this time to add words or pictures, designs, anything that reminds you of the gifts that Pig found: friendship, hope, and joy. If you don't have an egg, you can do this same activity with an egg drawn on a piece of paper. You can decorate while we reflect a little more on this story. So when we decided that I would be Crow in this service, I spent some time thinking about how to play this role. Who is Crow? What is Crow doing? Does she care about Pig? Is she somehow orchestrating the early disappointment and loss to prepare Pig for the great joy to come? I have some theological discomfort with that one, but maybe. Or is Crow doing her flawed best for Pig, imperfectly but genuinely trying to help? Or maybe she's just greedy and manipulative, and it's purely by accident that things turn out well for Pig. I enthusiastically overthought this. The story doesn't tell us, and perhaps it doesn't matter. Life gives us all disappointments, heartbreak, loneliness. When things go wrong, there's a tendency to look for and dwell on bad people who made them go wrong. I'm all in favor of accountability and taking action to protect ourselves from those who would do us harm. But if we're too focused on the motivations of others, which we rarely see as clearly as we think we do. And on who's to blame for the hard stuff, we can miss out on other things that life gives us, like opportunities to learn and unexpected gifts of friendship, hope, and joy, and connection. Yet another practice, along with self-kindness and letting go, found on all those lists for building and sustaining resilience. Fortunately, Pig didn't get stuck blaming Crow, just as he didn't let his longing for a butterfly get in the way of appreciating a goose. Instead, although Crow may have been a less than ideal friend, Pig approached that relationship with a healthy wariness, but he stayed connected. And when those moments of unexpected joy arrived, the surprise gifts he didn't see coming, new opportunities to connect more deeply, Pig embraced them with a wondering and open heart, caring for the lives around him and living into what Perry called the magic of connection. May we be so bold, so wondering, so caring, so resilient. Actually, we are. You are. Coming together week after week in this strange virtual church, gathering in small groups and classes made up of 2-inch tall, 2-dimensional heads. It's not the butterfly you're longing for, and there's plenty of blame to dwell on, but you're here, still nurturing that internal flame of hope, still living into that magic of connection. And so we conclude our story of a seed, a worm, and an egg with 2 invitations. The first is to recommit to tending your resilience, whether through renewed self-kindness, letting go, or connection. And the second is to support the resilience of someone else. Not fixing or saving, just imagining how you might offer an unexpected gift to someone who just might need it. It won't always work out the way you hope, but sometimes it makes all the difference. For the joys and gifts that surprise us along the way, and the opportunities to offer them to one another, we give thanks. And for the courage and resilience to be open-hearted in hard times, we pray. Amen.
We have come to the part in our service where we focus on giving. First, we will have a stewardship testimonial from longtime member Joyce Worden. Joyce and her husband Paul have given so much in so many ways to All Souls. Welcome, Joyce.
Considering the importance of financial support for All Souls has given Paul and me a welcome opportunity to formally reflect upon why we give as generously as we are able. Why is it so important to us to keep All Souls going? Why is it so important that there is a community that embraces spiritual travelers like all of us in our search as our principals say, for truth and meaning, especially in these COVID times when our physical contact is so limited. As background, I joined All Souls in 1985 as a single mom, leaving the Norwich UU congregation in search of a strong religious education program for my young daughter. Thank you, Sandy Geeman. Paul joined All Souls some years after that, and a few years later we were married at All Souls, in the old building, of course. So to make a very long story short, we've gone through many ups and downs throughout our lives, celebrating the joyous times and weathering the difficult times with the support of our blessed All Souls family. Thank you all so much. Along the way, I've served All Souls in many capacities, ever strengthening that bond. Many years ago, when I was a first-time canvasser, back in the day when we did home visits to every household in our then tiny congregation, I was canvassing a young couple who apologized that they were just starting out and were unable to give anything to support All Souls. I thought a bit and said that I understood their situation and that we certainly must consider what we're able to give, but that it was important to balance that with how much it matters to us that All Souls is there for us, for all of us, and that, in fact, even a small pledge could indicate that. I've always looked at supporting All Souls in that way. But now I see that as the years have passed, and even, maybe especially in these COVID times, the importance of All Souls in our lives is so much greater than we would ever be able to give, unless perhaps if we hit the lottery. So we continue to give what we can. What is it that makes All Souls so important? In that search for truth and meaning, we're pushed to re-examine our values as the avenue to find our own personal truth and meaning. Without that, our lives become unfocused and lose meaning, whether it be through our thought-provoking services, our engaging religious education programs, our committee work, or our connection and community with one another. We're all on a life-changing journey. As a footnote, I must add a special thank you to Reverend Carolyn, who through these many years of both good and not so good times has added her personal support and love to put the bow on the package that makes up All Souls. Put it all together and ask yourself, who can put a price on that? I long for the day when we can all be together again.
Thank you, Joyce. Our stewardship campaign kicked off last week. So far, 33 households have pledged. With the exception of one, all have come through the online form. Thank you. Please get your forms in as soon as possible. We're hoping we'll have 100% participation by February 12th. By giving financially, you support all the ways that this faith community provides hope to those within our virtual window and those beyond it. Remember, you are able to give through Venmo, PayPal, or by mailing a check. Please say with me the words that prepare us for giving. We give to the work of All Souls. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this, our offering. The offering will be gratefully received. For all you have given and sacrificed, thank you. Now, please join Becky in singing our edited version of Come Sing a Song with Me.
This song refers back to the story, so there are different verses. The first verse is Come Sing a Song with Me. The second verse is Come Plant a Seed with Me. The third verse is Come Share a Pie with Me. Then we always sing That I Might Know Your Mind. Then the chorus, and I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find, and I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Now, sing with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come plant a seed with me. Come plant a seed with me. Come plant a seed with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a pie with me. Come share a pie with me. Come share a pie with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Please join George, Giselle, Darlie, and Victoria in saying our chalice extinguishing words.
Our service has ended.
But our work is not yet done.
May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week.
Our chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our community.
Thank you all.
For our closing words, I invite you to place a hand on your heart and extend the other out toward this community of beloved and resilient souls. When we are lonely, may we let someone be our friend. When we are disappointed, may we choose to hope. And may we offer one another hope when hope is hard to find. Go forth into this day with a wondering and open heart, and return again soon with great joy. Amen.
Just a couple of announcements. Please remember to get your pledge forms to us as soon as possible. We are grateful for that. Next Sunday, Reverend Carolyn preaches, and her sermon is titled, Let the Beauty We Love Be the Good We Do. Faith formation also happens then on February 7th. Please enjoy Bill's postlude, and remember, you always have friends at All Souls.